Hello everybody, it's Game Slayer here. Today we are reacting to Share My Story Anime. Share My Story. Share My Story is a channel where it tells personal stories, or life stories anyways, but it gives you a lot of stories into it, so they give you a lot of stories anyway. They give you stories because if you want to see all the videos we react to, I'll put the link in the description below, and let's watch the video. So this reaction we're going to react to is I Want to Be Free. So I Want to Be Free. I think she wants to be free, and because it's America, it's really free. So let's watch it in.
I grew up in a highly educated household. My mom insisted that I was fluent in both Latin and Old Greek, and that I could recite all of Shakespeare's work verbatim. She wasn't too happy to find out my first boyfriend, Miguel, was Hispanic and didn't come from a good household. Hola, amigo. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
My mom immediately initiated a conversation about politics, trying to embarrass Miguel by asking a really complicated question.
Do you know how we can promote democratic governance inside victimized minority groups like Latinos?
I'm not sure I understood the question. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize English wasn't your first language. I guess you just recently came over the border. I had enough and pulled Miguel away from my mom. I realized that she would never accept me dating someone who didn't fit her narrow criteria of being an arrogant snob. She had already forbidden me from pursuing my passion of doing woodwork, because according to her, manual labor was reserved for the poor and uneducated people. While I couldn't fulfill my mom's expectations, my sister Giselle exceeded them. All she talked about was becoming a lawyer one day and making a lot of money. She was obsessed with getting a G-Wagon and owning a multi-million-dollar mansion. Yet she didn't actually enjoy studying law. It never made sense to me why anyone would waste decades of their life working a job they hate in exchange for some money. Well, I was 16 when my mom gave me an ultimatum. Either I broke up with my boyfriend Miguel, or she would send me away to a boarding school in Iowa. Be careful about trying to control your kid's life, because they might rebel. I loved Miguel enough that I dropped out of high school and run away with him. He found a job in construction while I started working at an ice cream shop. We could only afford a tiny studio apartment with molds over the walls and rats running around. And yet, despite the poor circumstances, we were both happy. Miguel was a hard worker and ambitious. I knew he'd one day become successful. Meanwhile, I could finally pursue my passion, woodworking. Surprisingly, it only took me 6 months to make a good living from it. I started by setting up workshops for kids where they could build their own furniture. I always held the workshops in wealthy neighborhoods so I could network with the kids' parents, many of whom were rich. That's how I quickly built a client list of wealthy individuals who now sometimes pay me over $10,000 to build them one single piece of furniture. Yes, I'm making a lot of money now. Which is why I felt confident enough to visit my family again during Christmas. I guess I wanted to let them know that I hadn't turned out to be a failure after all. Yet Giselle was super condescending. Sis, you don't even have a high school degree? Nope. And it doesn't bother you that you've wasted your potential? I'm actually quite happy. After all, I'm making a lot of money doing what I love. Meanwhile, you still haven't even finished your law PhD. Doesn't it bother you to waste your life doing something you hate? It felt good to outdo my sister. Yet I regret offending her because she is an absolute sociopath. The following month, a parent who'd sent their son to one of my woodworking workshops claimed that he had smashed his eye with a hammer at my workshop and that he had suffered permanent damage to his eyesight. Now she wanted to sue me. I knew her story was fabricated because the boy had already been wearing an eye clap the day before the alleged accident. Yet when I consulted a lawyer, he told me to settle the case or else the lawsuit could go on for years, take up all my time, and basically ruin my life. So I had to take on $200,000 of debt to pay damages to that child. Of course, I suspected my sister had orchestrated all of this. She understood the law and couldn't accept that my life was better than hers. I met her again a few years later and asked if she had anything to do with that mother trying to sue me. Oh yeah, I met this woman whose kid had poked his eye with a hammer while at one of your workshops. He's partially blind now on that eye. So I suggested to his mother to sue you. Why do you ask? I'm so done with my sister. Anyway, please watch this clip of Warren Buffett explaining why it is stupid to pursue a career you don't love.
I was wondering how you define success personally.
Well,
And they did good.
That's what I am. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, I get to do what I like to do every
Share my
single
story.
day
You
of the year.
good.
I get to do it with people I like. I get to.
They just did it so much. I don't understand how they did that, but it just really did. Like some other kid didn't. I did not know they was going to do that, but that really threw me out. But I didn't know they were going to do like real footage. But okay.
I don't have to associate with anybody causes my stomach to churn. The only thing in my job I don't like, and this only happens about every 3 or 4 years, occasionally I have to fire somebody, and I don't like. That's the only thing. Other than I tap dance to work, and I get down there, and I think I'm supposed to lie on my back and paint the ceiling, or something like Michelangelo. I mean, that's the way I feel, and it doesn't diminish. It's tremendous fun. So, if they say that success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you get. Well, I don't know which one applies in this case, but I do know that I wouldn't be doing anything else. I mean, I do advise you, when you go out to work, go to work for an organization that you admire, people you admire, because it'll turn you on, and you ought to be happy where you are working.
That's true.
I always worry about people who say, I'm going to do this for 10 years. I really don't like it very well. I'm going to do 10 more years of this. I mean, that's a little like saving up sex for your old age.
That's true.
Not a very good idea. So get right in.
You would recommend that.
Get right into what you enjoy, and you'll be successful at it. You really will. I mean, you won't be able to miss. And that's. I don't regard what I do as the most important thing in the world at all, but it's right for me. I mean, I happen to be wired in a certain way that what I do works in this. If I had to do what Bill does, I mean, it lasts about 10 minutes, and that's true of a lot of things. But luckily, I kind of stumbled into the thing that I do best, and that it's worked out well.
Like it's great. Wow, they really put us to that. They really put us to that. Though. Great video. Geez, you're just got great videos. I'm just never understanding why you're doing it. Okay, so let's watch this recent video. My parents forced me to stay 16 hours a day. That means there's something that goes 16 hours a day. Let's watch that.
With same game parlays on FanDuel, you can bet how your favorite players will do. Looking good, young Chuck. You too, old Chuck. Getting better with age. Get a no sweat first betting.
Okay, let's watch that. Yeah, I don't know why it's crashed. I don't understand why it's crashing right now. Let me pause for a minute because it's trying to crash.
He believed that public schools were garbage.
Okay, I restarted the app because it just keep on crashing on me. So my parents. So this video we're going to watch is my parents forced me to study 16 hours a day. So I don't know why it was wrong with my mobile phone right now. I don't know what's happening to the mobile, but we gotta get a new one. So we gotta get a new first service for it. So this video we're gonna watch is my parents forced me to study 16 hours a day. But I switched my idea. I'm gonna put their channel link in the description and below, so you can watch theirs, and you don't want me to talk over it. So let's watch the video then.
This story is about my mom.
Okay.
She believed that public schools were garbage and therefore wanted to homeschool me.
Wow.
However, homeschooling is illegal here in Hungary.
Wow.
So she faked a medical report that claimed that I had a motor neuron disease causing me muscle weakness.
Wow.
It was a complete lie, but the government believed it and granted me a special permission to be homeschooled due to my disease. Mom said,
"If you study hard, you'll make a lot of money one day and live the good life."
Meanwhile, she herself lived off her aunt's inheritance, had no job, and projected all her dreams onto me. Every morning my alarm rang at 7:50 a.m., after which I had only 10 minutes to take a shower, brush my teeth, and poop. Then from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., I had to sit at my desk and study non-stop. My mom seriously believed it was possible for me to focus and study for 16 hours straight, with only 2 breaks in between for lunch and dinner. However, according to Cal Newport, one of the most prominent experts on concentration and productivity, most people can only concentrate deeply for a maximum of 4 to 5 hours a day. Furthermore, it's important to take small breaks in between. I like to do it every 60 minutes, but many people prefer the Pomodoro technique, where you take a 5-minute break after every 25 minutes of work.
That's true.
However, if my mom caught me being distracted, she'd come and hit my fingers with a stick.
Oh,
Sometimes they were completely blue because of it. I ended up studying so much that I was far ahead of other kids my age. In 8th grade, I was studying material for 10th graders. And while in 9th grade, I started studying university textbooks for law because I wanted to become a lawyer one day.
Cool.
And I had completed all high school material.
That's cool.
However, I still had to take exams in school.
Oh, wow.
Those days, my mom would bring me to class in a wheelchair. And then I had to pretend to have little control over my body because of my fake motor neuron disease. It was a farce, but at least I got straight A's in every class. Anyway, one day my mom took things too far.
I go to the hospital now and be back home late. I want you to finish your book report.
And so you won't get distracted, I'll tie you to the desk. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Now I have to pee. My mom put an empty bottle on me and proceeded to put a chain around my hand with a lock. And what if the house catches fire and I can't escape?
Very unlikely to happen.
Wow.
Mom left and I had some time to think. I knew other kids didn't have to dedicate their whole life to studying, and more importantly, it made no sense to study all day. The brain isn't good at maintaining a high level of focus for more than 5 hours a day. When she got back, I told her, "I'm sorry, Mom. I want a normal life, hang out with friends and having a girlfriend."
That's true.
You can do that once you graduate university.
Mom, I'm fed up. And I can also call the police because I know you faked that medical report claiming I have a motor neuron disease. My mom got nervous. She wanted to see me continue studying hard and said,
"Okay, what if I find you a girlfriend?"
I had no idea what she meant, but of course I was curious. Well, 2 days later, she brings this gypsy girl to our house.
Here is Dika.
What?
I made a deal with her.
What?
I'm paying him 500 euros a month.
I like that. What?
You see, gypsies in Hungary are often poor and uneducated.
True.
They also hold on to old traditions where the dad marries away his daughter at a young age. Mom, Dika, and I probably have nothing in common. This is not what I meant when I was talking about having a girlfriend. I sent Dika away and told my mom that I would continue to study intensely for 4 to 5 hours a day, but not more than that. It's because I can't absorb much information after the first 4 hours anyway, and I would rather have a hobby I enjoy during the rest of the time. If you want to learn more about being productive at work or getting straight A's in school without studying to exhaustion, then you should check out one of Cal Newport's books on Amazon. At last, here is some basic advice on how to be productive. First, define your goals. Clearly define what you want to achieve, both in the short term and the long term. This will help you focus your efforts and stay motivated. Second, work in blocks. Instead of trying to work in small chunks of time throughout the day, try to set aside dedicated blocks of time for focused work that last at least 90 minutes.
I'll do it.
This can help you maintain your concentration and make more progress. Third, prioritize your work. Not all tasks are created equal, so try to focus on the most important tasks first. This can help you make the most of your time and avoid getting overwhelmed. Fourth, minimize distractions. It's hard to be productive when you're constantly being interrupted or pulled in different directions. Try to minimize distractions as much as possible, either by turning off notifications, finding a quiet place to work, or using tools like the Pomodoro technique to help you stay focused. Fifth, take care of yourself. It's hard to be productive when you're not feeling your best. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating well, and taking breaks to rest and recharge. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to Share My Story on YouTube.
Wow, I learned something now. Now, this is me. I do this a lot too because I don't memorize. I do memorize distractions, but some distractions always interrupt me because I do this a lot, but I do this a lot of distractions because when I game, there is a lot of distractions. Sometimes when I try to vibrate it, it won't work. When I try to do this, don't disturb it, it just goes right up. So let's go back and let's find another video we can watch now. There's a lot of videos. We're gonna watch like other videos. So let's watch. So let's watch this video. My classmate kidnapped me. Oh, do you mean like your classmate kidnapped you? This is like very similar. I'm gonna say that now. I don't get it. Let's watch it. Yeah, that's what to ask because I don't know how to get the premium now.
Injuries and bills don't stop at 5 o'clock, and neither should your lawyer. We fight for our clients long before most.
Hey, I'm Jenna, and I have this really creepy guy, Oscar, in my class. He always stared at me like a tiger watching its prey.
Wow.
I hated it. Oscar was ugly, short, and creepy.
Jeez.
But he came over to me one day to give me a USB stick.
Last night was a lot of fun. We should do it again someday.
I had no idea what he was talking about, but I had a bad feeling. When I plugged the stick into a computer, I found one video on it. I played it and saw myself locked up in a cage and on my knees.
Wow.
It was some kind of basement, and then Oscar came into the shot. He opened the lock and let me out of the cage. I immediately hugged him and said, "Thank you so much, Oscar. Why didn't I realize earlier that you are the prince of my dreams?" It was crazy. The girl inside the video didn't just look exactly like me. She also had my voice. Of course, I had heard about generative AI, but I didn't know you could already create videos that looked 100% realistic. It's actually kind of scary that now any boy can live out his fantasies through videos they create on their laptop.
Right.
When I started kissing Oscar in the video, I quickly turned it off. It was gross, and I had no interest in watching it to the end. I felt scared, angry, and violated. And worse, the following weeks, Oscar kept following me around like a stalker. Sometimes it just sucks to be a girl and to be the weaker gender.
True.
I had no other choice but to find myself a boyfriend that could protect me from him. I ended up dating George, who I didn't really like, but at least he was strong, aggressive, and very protective. When I showed him the video Oscar had made of me locked into a cage,
Oh, he turns to saying,
angry that the next day at school, he pulled Oscar into the boys' bathroom and beat him up so
damn,
badly that he had to be taken to the hospital for 2 broken ribs. Anyway, one evening on my way home from badminton practice, Oscar sneaked up on me from behind and knocked me unconscious with some heavy object. It's crazy how easy it is to abduct someone if you think about it. I woke up tied to a radiator in a basement when I saw Oscar. "Oh no, please let me go!" "Sorry, but you have to stay here for a while on your own. Once people notice that you are missing, I could probably become a prime suspect. So it's safer for me to stay away from you until the police give up the search. Anyway, I've prepared everything you need to survive, from food and water to poop buckets." It was absolutely terrifying. And worse, I later found out that the police put little to no effort into actually rescuing me. When my boyfriend George told the police captain that my classmate Oscar had been stalking me for months and that he might have abducted me, he only said, "Oh, your girlfriend just ran away. Teenagers do that all the time." Well, here is how you know a guy loves you. George was so worried about me that he decided to interrogate Oscar personally. He forced him into his car and drove them deep into a forest where no one could hear Oscar's screams. Apparently, it took George 2 days of inflicting severe pain on Oscar before he finally revealed where he was holding me captive. I can't describe the relief I felt, sitting there next to my poop buckets, when the door opened and I saw George coming into the basement. We called the police, and Oscar ended up getting sentenced to 20 years in prison for kidnapping me and holding me captive. Unfortunately, my boyfriend George also got 6 years in prison for using torture during his extrajudicial interrogation of Oscar.
No way.
In other words, he had sacrificed his own freedom to rescue me.
Wow.
And worst of all, I never actually loved him. George just wasn't my type. There was no way I was going to stay faithful to him for 6 years while he was locked up.
Wow.
So I visited him to have the most difficult conversation of my life. "Hey, how are you, sweetie?" "I'm good, thank you, George. But I got to tell you something." "What is it?" "Look, I'm infinitely grateful for what you've done for me. You literally saved my life. But in the end, I only dated you to protect me from Oscar. I never really loved you, so I'm breaking up with you." George lost it and started screaming every imaginable insult at me. Of course I felt bad for him, but I also believe that I did the right thing. What do you think? If you enjoyed watching my story, please subscribe to the channel.
Jeez. I thought she liked him, but she didn't. I thought she did, but no, she did not like him. I thought she did, but no, she did not like him. Jeez. Bad idea. So let's watch the recent video. His other video we did not even watch. We just didn't watch. So let's watch our last video we're gonna watch. Our last reaction we're gonna watch is my baby was switched at birth. So let's watch that. I'm really confused about that.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You're watching In the Kitchen with Corley. Today, we are going to be cooking.
There's no greater love than a mother's for her child.
Okay.
So imagine how you would feel if your baby was accidentally switched at birth, and you had raised someone else's baby for 5 years, loving it as if it was your own. Would you keep the child you had, or would you want to swap it for your biological child?
I'll go for my biological child. That's one year.
One day, a woman from the government came to my home. She said we had something important to discuss, and that's when she told me my daughter wasn't my daughter. At first, I got angry and told her to shut up, but she proceeded to explain that my child had accidentally been switched at birth, and that my daughter wasn't my biological child. My heart dropped, and I felt like a little piece of me died. But deep down, I knew that she was telling the truth, because when I gave birth, I was sure my baby was a boy. However, he needed special care, so the doctors took him away from me to treat him, and I didn't have time to take a good look at him. The next day, when I saw my baby again, it was suddenly a girl. I asked if there had been a mix-up, but everyone told me I was crazy, and the nurses even laughed at me, saying I was silly and confused. In the end, I figured I had seen things wrong because of the drugs I'd been on while giving birth.
Wow.
The test showed that neither he nor the mother were the girl's parents, so they figured that some of the babies at the hospital must have been switched by mistake. That's why I had to do a DNA test to confirm that I was the mother of the other child, and it came back positive, which means that I'd been caring for the wrong little girl all these years. The first time I met my biological son, I'll be honest, I didn't feel anything for him. He was just another kid. I wanted to keep my daughter, the one I'd loved and cared for over the past 5 years. We were really close, and it broke my heart to think of being parted from her. My biological son felt the same way. He begged his mother to not send him to live with me. But then the problem started. The other family wanted to switch the kids back. I refused because I didn't care about whose DNA my daughter has. And in the end, the case went to court. Unfortunately, the court decided in the other family's favor. So my daughter lives with her biological parents now, while I'm taking care of my biological son. I don't think words can describe the pain of having your daughter taken away.
Right.
I cried for days and felt like I'd never get over it. The only good thing is that the courts agreed I could visit her once a week, so we still have a relationship. However, as hard as it was for me, it was far worse for my daughter to be given to the other family. She screamed and cried when they took her away, even though I told her we would see each other soon. It's been a year since I got my biological son back, and although it took a while, I do love him now, as I loved my daughter. The truth is, I love both my children and always will. I wish I could have both of them with me.
That'd be cool though.
Life is tragic, and you lose the person you care about the most. I have a friend whose son went to Afghanistan for many years and didn't come back. She believes he's still alive and out there somewhere.
Oh wow! I feel sorry for your friend.
For her to accept the truth.
I feel sorry for your friend.
I understand what she's going through.
Yeah, I do too.
Because at least I can still see my daughter once a week. Thank you for listening to my story, and please subscribe to this channel.
Damn. Wow.
I like it. Yep, it's mine. The prices blow my mind. I feel so rich.
I did not know she would lose her daughter like that. The baby switched on the birthday. Shoot. I'm gonna end it right here because I'm not going to be watching the whole video. I'm not going to watch the other video because I'm going to watch 4 videos or 3 or 2 because there's something I can do for that. Or 3 or 4. If you want me to react more, share my story, or want to see entertainment, I'll put their channel on the description because I love their videos. So I'm gonna end it right here. Join the KB squad. Bye bye.